There comes a moment in every life when the silence becomes unbearable, when the waiting becomes heavier than the fear of action, when you finally realize that the world is not coming to rescue you. No invitation is arriving. No perfect timing is unfolding. No door is opening simply because you hope it will. And in that moment, a choice appears. You can continue waiting for opportunity, or you can become it. Most people live their entire lives standing on the sidelines of their own destiny. They wait for the economy to change. They wait for the right connection. They wait for confidence. They wait for approval. They wait for someone to recognize their potential. They wait for luck. But history has never been shaped by those who waited. It was shaped by those who decided. Thomas Edison did not wait for darkness to solve itself. He burned through thousands of failed attempts until light bowed to persistence. Andrew Carnegie did not wait to be handed influence. He studied power, aligned with it, and built it. Walt Disney was told his ideas lacked imagination. Imagine that. Yet he did not wait for validation. He created a world so vivid that reality had to catch up. Opportunity does not visit the hesitant. It responds to the prepared. And preparation begins in the mind. Everything you are waiting for begins with how you think. Not circumstances. Not connections. Not capital. Thought is the birthplace of fortune. Before steel became bridges, it was belief. Before companies became empires, they were ideas held stubbornly in one mind that refused to release them. Napoleon Hill taught that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief is not a soft word. It is not wishful thinking. It is not positive affirmations whispered without conviction. Belief is disciplined certainty. It is a decision repeated so often that doubt becomes an outsider. The person who becomes opportunity understands this. You do not chase success. You attract it by becoming the kind of person it cannot ignore. You think differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You stop asking, when will my moment come? And start asking, how can I prepare so fully that when the moment appears, I am undeniable? Because opportunity is not a lightning strike. It is a test. It asks, are you ready? Have you sharpened your skill? Have you strengthened your discipline? Have you clarified your vision? Or have you merely been wishing? Wishing is passive. Vision is active. Vision is the ability to see what does not yet exist and act as though it is inevitable. Henry Ford did not wait for public demand before building automobiles for the masses. He saw a future others laughed at. Abraham Lincoln did not wait for unity to appear. He held a vision of it through division so fierce it could have shattered a weaker spirit. To become opportunity, you must develop clarity so powerful that confusion has no room to breathe. What do you want? Not what sounds impressive. Not what pleases your family. Not what fits safely inside expectation. What do you want so deeply that the thought of dying without attempting it feels like betrayal? Clarity is dangerous because it eliminates excuses. When you know exactly what you are building, you can no longer hide behind uncertainty. You either act, or you admit you are afraid. And fear is the invisible prison of the waiting. Fear whispers, you're not ready. Fear says, what if you fail? Fear asks, who do you think you are? But the person who becomes opportunity answers differently. I am the one who decides. You see, waiting feels safe because it postpones judgment. If you never fully commit, you never fully risk exposure. But there is a quiet tragedy in safety. A slow erosion of self-respect. Every time you delay action, you send a message to your subconscious. I do not trust myself. And the subconscious believes repetition. If instead you act, even imperfectly, you begin sending a new message. I am capable. I move. I create. That message compounds. Self-trust is built the same way fortunes are built, through consistent deposits. Small promises kept. Small disciplines honored. Waking up when you said you would. Studying when you could scroll. Practicing when you could complain. Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment. It aligns your daily behavior with your future identity. If you want to become opportunity, you must first become the person opportunity seeks. That means building habits that make you sharp. That means training your mind to focus when distraction is easier. That means mastering your emotions when chaos tempts you to react. Because opportunity rarely arrives in calm conditions. It appears disguised as pressure. It shows up wrapped in uncertainty. It tests your composure before it rewards your preparation. Resilience is not developed during comfort. It is forged during resistance. Consider Edison again, conducting experiment after experiment, failing publicly thousands of times. To the casual observer, it looked like repeated defeat. To him it was data, information, refinement. That is the mindset of someone who becomes opportunity. Failure is not a verdict. It is feedback. If you interpret setbacks as identity, you shrink. If you interpret them as instruction, you expand. The difference lies in perspective. And perspective is a choice. When a door closes, the waiting mind says, "Why does this always happen to me?" The opportunity mind says, "What is this trying to teach me?" Gratitude strengthens that perspective. Not surface-level gratitude. Not pretending everything is perfect. But deep appreciation for growth itself. Gratitude for lessons. Gratitude for the chance to improve. Gratitude for the strength that emerges only when challenged. Gratitude keeps bitterness from poisoning ambition. Because bitterness is heavy. And opportunity requires lightness, clarity, energy. Energy comes from purpose. Why are you building what you are building? Why does it matter? If your reason is shallow, your persistence will be weak. But if your purpose connects to something larger than ego, service, contribution, impact, then obstacles become fuel. Carnegie understood leverage not just in steel but in relationships. He aligned with mentors. He studied under powerful minds. He formed alliances. He knew that no empire is built alone. Becoming opportunity does not mean isolation. It means initiative. It means stepping forward with values so compelling that collaboration becomes natural. Ask yourself, if someone were to partner with me today, what strength would I bring? What skill have I refined? What problem can I solve? If the answer is unclear, that is your assignment. Learn, study, practice, adapt. The modern world moves fast. Technology shifts. Industries evolve. The person who waits for stability will always be behind. The person who becomes opportunity anticipates change and prepares for it. Adaptability is power. Rigidity breaks under pressure. Flexibility bends and returns stronger. You do not need to predict the future perfectly. You need to build yourself into someone capable of handling it. This is the secret most overlooked. You are not trying to control circumstances. You are trying to control your response to them. And that control begins with thought. Guard your mind. The thoughts you entertain shape the actions you take. The actions you take shape the results you experience. If you constantly rehearse doubt, you will perform hesitation. If you rehearse confidence, you will perform courage. Visualization is rehearsal. See yourself executing. See yourself delivering. See yourself standing firm under pressure. Athletes do it. Leaders do it. Visionaries do it. They imprint success on the subconscious before it manifests externally. But visualization without action is fantasy. You must move. Imperfectly. Uncertainly. Consistently. Action clarifies what thinking cannot. When you act, you gather evidence. You learn what works. You adjust what fails. You build momentum. And momentum is magnetic. People are drawn to movement. Investors fund traction. Employers reward initiative. Audiences follow conviction. When you stop waiting and start building, even small, you separate yourself from the crowd that is still hesitating. Understand this clearly, opportunity is not random. It circulates around those who are in motion. If you are stagnant, it passes. If you are active, it notices. So ask yourself again with ruthless honesty, are you waiting? Or are you becoming? Because the world does not owe you a breakthrough, but it cannot ignore a force. And the moment you decide to become the opportunity, to sharpen your mind, discipline your habits, clarify your vision, strengthen your resilience, fuel your purpose, and move without permission, you shift from spectator to creator. You stop knocking. You start building doors. You stop asking to be chosen. You make yourself undeniable. And when that shift happens internally, the external world has no choice but to respond.